Welcome back everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. In this video we're going to give our initial thoughts on what an 8-player game looks like. As you know, we just played through a simulation walkthrough of an 8-house game, including the expansion set of Ixians and Tleilaxu, and also with the main rules. So what did you guys think? If you didn't watch that video, please go back into below here and watch us perform through that game. Obviously, as you guys know, Gale Force 9's Dune is totally not suited for a one-player game. I mean, even as I was walking through it, I definitely realized how much of the game really comes down to that dynamic between the characters, the alliances. One thing that I did notice playing through it, even just doing the walkthrough video, was you get excited. You really do get excited just looking at how the different factions are interacting, how they are fighting each other, anticipation for certain moves. So I think on that way, it was quite a good exercise, especially for me getting re-familiar with the rules, to go through and take a look at the game. So maybe I'll go through some of the pros, some of the cons, and then obviously you guys are welcome to comment below. I'm really interested in what you think of it as an 8-player game. Has anybody played an 8-player version of it before? I think this would all be a conversation that we can have down in the comments, or we can take it over to my Patreon and we can talk about it there. So yeah, really interested in what you guys have to say. So so first, let me start off with my take. I feel like you definitely can play this with 8 players. The houses are all fun. There's a lot of new mechanics, like these. This mechanic is definitely the technology mechanics. So you've got the axolotl tanks, the spice production, and the Ixian highliner that's used by the Spacing Guild. So I think this is a great mechanic to play. I think that it makes for long turns, which can be fun also. There's lots of different intrigues and details going on. So I think that's something to be aware of, that you definitely will have a richer play as you're going around, and more time to sort of take care of and look at all the different options you have for your turn. Definitely one thing that jumps out on the con side was it seems like it can be imbalanced. So it looks like the gameplay can be a bit imbalanced in the sense of because there's so many houses involved, that it could be really easily for one player's house to sort of just lose out or get shadowed by another. So because there's more players, some of the weaker characters like the Tleilaxu and the Ixians, that takes them a much longer to have a solid play. I also think like the prediction element of the Bene Gesserit is very interesting now, because that adds that whole dimension to it. But again, if you go back to the 6-player game, I feel like the 6-player game has all these elements too. It's just a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, you definitely can get all of those mechanics working. Another detail I was thinking of is just even I had this small issue, is when you're doing the initial setup, you guys are going to have to come up with a house rule for the position of the players. Because I think in this game, you'll really see quickly how the player positioning is crucial to turn order. And with the storm, I think even more so, if you have an inactive phase, it can really ruin your turn. So I think getting a good house rule for the positioning of the extra 2 pieces, I just placed them sort of randomly between spots. Does anybody have a link to a solution for that? I did search quickly on Board Game Geeks, and I did find that some people had done a custom board. But short of that, is there any other solutions that you guys have come across? Please leave a comment below and let me know what you found. I'd be interested in seeing that, because I do plan to play I do plan to play this with 8 people, and kind of really interested in seeing how that works out. Let's see, what's another drawback? The other drawback is, I mean, again, this is the same critique for the full game, but your player can drop out pretty quickly. And like we see this already in the if you're playing with just 6 players, you can suddenly drop out of the game, and that can be frustrating. You have a group of players and then suddenly one player is out. So I think I'm wondering if people have developed some house rules or some modified rules that help to nerf some powers, or to balance out some power. I'm trying to think of one example right away, and I think that, for example, the one power that seems way too strong are the Tleilaxu regeneration and the Emperor's the Emperor getting money for the treachery cards. So I feel like in a 6-player game, this is a huge advantage. But when you have an 8-player game, suddenly the Emperor just becomes so spice rich, so water fat, so spice fat, that it really is an unfair advantage to, say, maybe the Bene Gesserit, something like that. But and also, I guess, the Ixians to a lesser extent. In the game I played through, I think at one point half the spice on the board was with the Imperial, was with the Emperor. So I think that's definitely where I think the Bene Gesserit was always, and the Fremen, they were always sort of in a chom charity kind of state. So I think that's definitely something that might need to be nerfed if you're going to work this into your game, because that is definitely the imbalance that I saw. I think maybe, for example, there could be a slight mod if you're playing 8 players, where you try to nerf some of the powers a bit. Like maybe it's not a 1-for-1, or maybe you cap it at a certain number. But I did see suddenly that the Ixians, the Imperial characters, are super rich by the end of the game. So I guess that's a normal dynamic in even the 6-player game, but it's even more exaggerated, is what I'm trying to say. What's some other things? I do want to play through again. I feel like there's some of the newer rules I'm not quite across. Like I didn't really get the nuance of how to use the tech cards and the Ixian mobile stronghold. I mean, I think you guys can comment below if you see I did that wrong. So I would definitely like to do that. So what do you guys think? Did you learn something from this? Was it interesting? Are you going to try a game of your own? Let me know, and would definitely like to hear about it. And in the meantime, I'll as I pack this game up, maybe I'll just talk about the. I've got as you guys see, I'm using this storage solution from Folding Space. This is a great storage solution. I've got a video on that below if you want to check that out. Would love to see you guys over on the Patreon, where I'm going to have some more Dune content for you to take a look at. I definitely am working on mods. It seems that you guys like to see game mods, so I had done an Eldritch Horror mod, and that seemed to be interesting to people. And I have a Conan Monolith solo play mod that I'm going to be showcasing, so check those out in the channel. What about a Dune mod? Are you guys interested in seeing something Gale Force 9 Dune mod? I was thinking of I'm actually in development of a Dune Revenant card game as well, so that's something that's coming up. So let me know what you guys are interested in seeing, and I'd be happy to put that out there. Also, as you guys know, I've got a second channel and we're doing Dune all this month. So if you're really interested in Dune as a as the inspiration of this, you know, a lot of people come into the game and don't really know Dune. And I say, if you like this game, you should definitely read Dune, get involved in Dune. Obviously, if you're a Dune fan, you know what I'm talking about. But for people that have just come into it as a game, it's, for me, when I play, I definitely flash back to the book, and it's definitely sort of like the flavoring text almost, where you start to know all those characters. And I think at one point we had the Atreides in my game play. We had the Atreides trader was Irulan, which makes perfect sense because she ends up being she is the daughter of the emperor, but at the same time she is the wife of Muad'Dib. So that seemed like a cool, just random occurrence that worked out thematically. And I think we also saw some traders that are shocking. When you see, although the David Lynch movie Thufir is kind of a Harkonnen trader in a way, but he's a reluctant trader. So you start to see that there's a lot of complexity to these relationships from the book. And if you're interested in the kind of politics that inspired Dune game, go check out the book, because there is a richness of these topics and themes explored there. As I mentioned, we are doing the Pontus Fathom Press podcast has got a deep dive into these Jungian themes that are in Frank Herbert's Dune, which I really think are why they resonate so well with people, because Frank Herbert was a clever guy. He was pretty smart about looking at human nature and trying to come up with plots and themes that were super realistic for the super realistic themes that make his characters stand out and make his characters so rich. So definitely go check those out. And finally, wrapping up, I think you can check out the storage solution. As you see, you're kind of getting to see it in reverse motion here. But let me know what would you like to see next. I did promise a Cthulhu Death May Die Season 1. It took me some time to get the figures painted, so I've got that almost tabletop ready. And I am slowly getting some Conan solo play work collected, which I'm excited to do. Definitely some games I'm really ready to jump into. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll just finish up this unboxing. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.